Yo, 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 it's B-tean Screen. It hasn't been doing today. I'm doing fantastic. I'll probably be putting music over this. Probably Ben 10 music, actually. Why not? But we are here because we finished this series. And y'all know what that means. Welcome to the Aftershow, where we pretty much talk about the series. We have in egglocks hatched eggs before, and done in the extreme stuff. We've done evolutions of Pokemon we didn't get to evolve. In this one, we are doing what we did with Persona 4 and ranking both the aliens we played as and the games that we played. So, without further ado, we're gonna do from the first to the last. And me, Protector of Earth is probably B tier. It's the first one they ever did. It was pretty good. They followed that same idea of you can choose which alien you want to switch into. Some more than most. But then it's also the first game. It was kind of all over the place for story-wise, because, like, yes, they were trying to defeat all the enemies. But it was like, yo, we're going to go here and here and here. It's more so randomly going throughout the U.S. But then again, that is how the cartoon went. So, yeah. B, because it's just that good, really. Next up, we have Alien Force. Now, Alien Force built upon what Protector of Earth did. Actually, no, I'm probably going to put it in B tier as well, just above that. For the one sake that it's kind of the same idea as this, except there's a little more story to it. It's not just, oh, there's a bad guy here, we'll go here. Oh, look, there's another bad guy. Let's go over there. This one is more so, yo, we found this student at a warehouse. He's a plumber. We gotta trust him. Oh shit, we messed up. Let's go fix it. So, it had more of a story base than Protective Earth, but it was still the same idea of, yo, you only have 5 aliens? You can only use 5 aliens. Good luck with that. Next up, Vilgax Attacks. Now, I'm putting this in A tier, because this was the only one of these games that I played as a child, so it has nostalgia. It also allows you to have more aliens in your inventory. I'm going to call it inventory on your Omnitrix at a time. So, even though this one kind of goes along the same lines as Alien Force, where you find something out, you got to go and do these tasks in order to do it, and then fight the big bad at the end. Only difference is you already see what happens at the end if you don't do anything. So that's why I like this one. And yeah, that's why it's A. Next up, Rise of Pex. I'm sorry. Your lowest tier. There wasn't much substance to your levels. Sure, we unlocked we still had the 10 aliens at a time. And it was cleverly done where you got to get keys for certain doors and all that. But it was a side scroller in a 3D, well, 2.5D kind of thing. I'll say 3D. It's a, like, yeah. You go from completely 3D, advancing it more and more and more, and then it's just, hey yo, side scroller. And it's like, yo, that kind of took away from it. Plus, there was only 15 levels in which I could do 3 per episode. It really took away from the game overall. Next up, we have Cosmic Destruction. This thing is freaking S tier. Cosmic Destruction brought together what I figured Ben 10 should be. Like, as a game. You're trying to go around, collect things to stop a big bad, like the other games. But this one included puzzles, where you have to use different aliens in order to do certain things. I.e., the one episode where I actually pointed out in I think it was Paris or whatever, where you have to use all your aliens in order to get through a room. And it's You could use different aliens for certain things, but overall, it was so much better. And it introduced 5 more aliens, which is a big buff for me. Other ones did as well, but that's beside the point. It really showed the aspect of what a Ben 10 game could be, the puzzles and all that. So that's why it's S tier. We have 2 games left. This isn't taking too long. Omniverse. This is also S tier. Just like the other ones, it had amazing combat. It had you thinking about everything. It had amazing lore implications. Like, that's the main thing. Like, and the idea of, hey, yo, you went back in time accidentally, and you caused a clusterfuck to happen, and now you're going back to try to fix it. It branches off of you have certain things where you need to do, and instead it's like, yo, you fucked up, you have to fix it. Sorry for the profanity, but like, yeah, it is below cosmic destruction, I will say that, but because there's no puzzles really other than the doors, which is pretty easy to do. So I have to say Omniverse, definitely second favorite. Next up, the game that we played most recently, Omniverse 2. This is probably gonna be, I don't know, because it's probably gonna go here. Not quite C tier, but bottom of B tier. Where it's just running down a hallway for majority of it, battling a few guys, repeat. Sure, it has like cool little things where you don't have to get any experience for upgrades, but you have to try to hunt them down. And as you saw, I completely missed one, and I didn't know where to go for it, so that kind of sucked. But other than that, it was a pretty good game. I enjoyed it, and I'm not saying that any of these games are trash, besides Rise of Hex, but like, yeah, if I played the other 4 games, I don't know where I would put them. I may in the future play them, but this is just Ben 10 Generations, not Ben 10 Multiverse. So, now with that done, if you guys disagree with any of this, let me know in the comments. Now on to the second one, where we have to say what aliens were amazing and what weren't. Now, I already have these sorted out where certain ones are not in the games at all, so they're just in their own tier. I did that ahead of time because it was much easier to do it that way than any other way. But I also have them sorted out in chronological order of when you obtain them. I have no idea why Forums is so late in it all. That's what I find funny, like Forums is so late in everything. Actually, no, this scrambled up a bit. Gosh dang it, it's scrambled up. I see that now. Damn it. Oh well, whatever. I had it sorted out like that. It didn't want to stay like that, apparently. But we're going to sort these guys out based on... I'm going to actually sort this out somewhat better. Like, Artiguana was late. These 3 are the last 3, so that works out. I forget where Farms came in. Pretty sure it was like here, right? You were first. These. There was one other one that was first. One's in Wild Mud. Wild Mud came in with these dudes. Was it Diamond Head? Might have been Diamond Head. I think it was Diamond Head. No, it was Forearms. Forearms was in this game. I completely forget. That's sad. That I just completely forget it. Anyways, not with the point here. The point is, Cannonbolt. He had so many. I loved his moveset. In the last game, I didn't really use him that much because he was like the last one to unlock, and I didn't get his final upgrade, so I don't really know all there is to him in the last game. But from what I have played of him, I'd probably put him in B. I almost want to put another one. Okay, thing. Yeah, we're gonna have it. I hit. D tier. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably gonna put him in mid tier. He is incredibly fun to use, and he had amazing movesets. He had like 2 intro moments based off of him. At least I don't know about the other ones. Next up, we have Accelerate. I'm putting Accelerate in A tier. He had a better moveset, and as a speedy character, I love going fast in games. That's just me. So like all those fast ones are probably gonna be higher than the slow ones, depending on their movesets, really. But yeah, Accelerate was awesome. He had, I think it was the first game where he had the light speed dash where he just disappears from the screen and then appears with an explosion. That's what puts him above Cannonball. Next up, we're gonna do a fun little dude called Heat Wave. Now Heat Wave, I'm sorry, but I don't think Heat Wave was all that good. I'm probably gonna put him in on B tier because he was fun to use. He had his great movesets, but he wasn't one of the ones that I wanted to use all the time. So like, actually, I'll put him in C for that. He wasn't a character that was, he was fun to use, but he wasn't necessarily one that I wanted to use. And that's probably where all of it screws up with me, but that's my idea. That's what I gotta say. Next up, Wildvine. I'm putting Wildvine in A tier as well. Wildvine was so fun to use. He was, I might honestly put him in God tier. I'm putting him in God tier. Wildvine was an amazing alien to use for crowd control, which this is what I needed for most of these games. But yeah, he was like, they used him so well. They did him so well in all the games that like he has to be God tier. That's just what it is. Now the last one for the first game is Forearms, where I'm still looking at them from all the games, but in order of the games that they appeared in. I am probably gonna put him in B tier, yeah. Again, like Heat Blast, he wasn't the one that I was using all that often, but they did his movesets pretty well, especially with the last game, I will say, especially with Tremors. That was awesome. Not very accurate, but as a strong alien, he was pretty good. Now, for the next game, where we have Swampfire first. Swampfire is kind of like Heat Blast, but with better moveset. Actually, I might put him in A tier because I did enjoy using him a lot. He was one of the ones that, if you didn't use him, you were crazy. I'm sorry, just how I saw it. But yeah, he was awesome. I loved using him. Next up, who else was in that game? Spider Monkey was. So Spider Monkey. I'm probably gonna put Spider Monkey B tier, yeah. Because again, like all the other ones, just not very versatile. Like they kind of gave him Wildvine's ability in Cosmic Destruction, which cool and all, but again, oh well. Actually, they did that in Alien 4. Yeah, in any game that he was in, he used that ability. God damn it. He was a lot more versatile than these two, though, I will say. So he's top of B, but not quite A. Next up, Big Chill. Even though in the last game he looks different. I'm putting him in A. Big Chill was incredible use. I kind of want to put him. He is God tier. I'm putting him in God tier for the reason that in every game he was incredibly fun to use and incredibly useful. Because even in the worst game out of all of them, Rise of Hex, he was the best one to use because you could just foot by enemies. Don't worry about any of them. So, God tier for him. Next up, Jet Ray, A tier. He is definitely A tier. He was incredibly fun to use. Even though he was late in Bill Guy's attacks, and Alien Force was the only other game that used him, I'm pretty sure, he was still so fun to use. He was called Jet Ray for a reason. And that's part of the reason why he's up here in the top ones. He's just awesome. I love him. Yeah, that's all I can say about him for now. Now, the last one from this game, Humongous Thor. I'm gonna put him above Forearms, but below Campbell. That is where I think he belongs. Because, like Forearms, they gave him a good moveset, but he wasn't incredibly needed to use. Like, I felt like whenever I needed to use him, it was kind of a chore because I had to move blocks and whatnot. So, I didn't really like using him like that. And most of the movesets were just punch, barge, stuff like that. Like, they didn't use his abilities the best they could until like the final level, where it's just, yo, you're big, you can still die though. All these little guys around you, they can still kill you. So that's where I'm with him. Sorry. And then next game we have Alien Force. Vilgax attacks. Echo Echo. Echo Echo is also a god tier alien for these games. For the sole purpose of you can just clone yourself, you're good. You don't have to battle them, your clones take care of them. And you like, it lets you not die, if that makes sense. And then in Ultimate Alien Cosmic Destruction, he gets even more use, where if there's multiple buttons, you have to use him. You have to use the clones, where they took advantage of his powers and made it a mechanic that you needed to use. Which, like the other two in this in God tier, is exactly why he's up there. They took what the alien was and made it better for the game. Next up, Chroma Stone. Gonna put him above Spider Monkey in B tier. I don't think he was all that bad, but he's still not as good as the other ones. He had fun movesets, but then again, he was only used in one game, and like late in that game, I didn't get to really use him that much. It was fun because he actually had puzzles assigned to him, where certain things you could only do with Chroma Stone. So that was also a good benchmark for him. But other than that, he wasn't very versatile. Next up, Brainstorm. Again, he also had puzzles for him. And I'm probably gonna put him in A tier, just because his moveset. I just realized I didn't get to use Cannonball to roll as an attack. I'm sad. I want to go back and do that now, just for fun. Anyways, off topic. Brainstorm. He had an entire area assigned to him, like the other aliens, but it was like he was the only one who could do several different things, unlike some of the other ones where they only had one thing they could do. Like, he could hack into computers, he could redirect lasers. I think that's all he could do, but still, that's better than the other ones could do. Next up is Goop. Sorry, I have to. Goop for this game, I'm probably gonna put him in C tier. Just like the other ones, he wasn't all that versatile. The only thing he was used for really was climbing walls. His attacks weren't all that fascinating. Of course, they used his character, which Goop doesn't have much going for him. But the one thing they didn't do was make it so you could be on a puddle, other than when you climb walls. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I just never found that out. But like, his shield was this. Actually, no, in the most hated game, he was able to become a puddle, but again, that was only for traversing the area. So like, again, not that useful. C tier. Sorry, Goop. And then the last alien from this game, Alien X, I'm putting him in D tier. We never used him. You cannot tell me that we ever used him. The only time we used him was in a freaking cutscene. I'm sorry, but he wasn't even used for final fight or anything. He's just there at the end. I'm sorry, but he's D tier for the games. If it was for the actual, if it was for the cartoon, he would probably be higher. But for just the game, no, he's not any higher. I'm sorry. And now we move on to the hated game, where it literally just introduces this dude, who I'm gonna put him at C tier. Just because the final fight, you had to use him. And that's the only time he got used. I'm sorry, but like, he had decent attacks and all that, but then again, it was a forced final fight where either use him or you just endlessly do nothing. Not bad, but making an alien only useful for the final fight, as you will see later, is not good on my radar. So, yeah, oh well. Next up, we have Ultimate Alien, which is the majority of these aliens, honestly. Actually, no, because, well, I will say majority. Water Hazard. I will say that all the aliens in this game are probably going to be higher tier just because it's my favorite. Water Hazard, he's got to go A tier. He's better than all these dudes. I would probably say right here. Just because Swampfire is also used in this game, and he's also extremely versatile. But Water Hazard, again, puzzles and all that. Oh, my explanation for all these aliens being good will be the puzzles, where you see a little water symbol, spray it, you're good. You see a fire, all right, switch to him, you can put it out. Kind of like Big Chill, but yeah, he was incredible to use. Next up, Amphibian, which I'm probably gonna put in top of B tier. He was extremely fun to use. I forget what he was used for. He was the amp for all the electrical things, where either you use him or you to open a doorway and then speed through. So it was still good. I loved using him, but he's not extremely versatile. He wasn't one that I would automatically choose, and that's kind of the same deal as Armadillo, where he's gonna go just below. Actually, no, just above, because he had decent attacks, and you move things with him. And that was a puzzle. Next up, Terraspin. Terraspin's probably top of A. I'll be honest. Terraspin was extremely fun to use. I loved using him. And just, he's Tortle. He's Tortle. That's all. That's all I can say about him. Next up, NRG. NRG's god tier. I'm sorry. I loved using NRG. They had the most different uses for the same ability, where it's like just melt things, but then it's used in a different way each time they make you melt something. So that's why he's god tier, as well as just he was fun to use. Next up are the ultimate aliens for this game, which I'll start off with. Yeah, Swampfire. Swampfire was used twice, I'm pretty sure, but I'm probably going to put him in top of C tier, because a lot of the ultimate aliens you don't really get to use. He was kind of annoying to use, because it was the battle at Paris, and I think Terracotta, it is that one, where they're fun to use, but like, they don't always do great. And it's just for the second one, you barely even use him. I'm sorry. He still had an amazing moveset. That's why he's top of C tier. Next up, I'll go with the Humongousaur, where I'm gonna put him just above regular Humongousaur. Whereas the same thing where, yeah, he's cool, but you use him for a mini fight, not a boss fight. That's the same with a few of the other ones too. But yeah, he is just above Humongousaur because he's slightly better than Humongousaur. Next up, I'm putting him above Swampfire, Ultimate Swampfire, but still C tier. Same thing with Humongousaur. He was just used for an all-out brawl. Actually, no. I'm putting him a bit higher. I'll put him above Spider Monkey, yeah. I think that's only fair to do that. Other than Ultimate Swampfires. Sorry. Because they actually made him use an ability in the middle of his rush fight. So it's still better than Humongousaur, where it's just a rush fight. So yeah, Ultimate Big Chill. I'm probably gonna put Ultimate Big Chill slightly above Ultimate Spider Monkey. Same kind of thing. Just The ultimates are only used once. Bonfire was used twice, but was used twice poorly. Next up, Ultimate Echo Echo. I don't even remember what I used him for. I'll be honest. I do not remember what his fight was. So I might even put him in D tier above Alien X. Because I do not remember using him at all. Could have been from how long ago it was. But it just wasn't very useful. And with that, we're done. Those guys. Actually, no. We have big... Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna go... Actually, no, I'm gonna put you above Lodestar. Because at least you had a boss fight that was fun to do. It was literally mano a mano. Where it was way big versus evil way big. And it was in a city where... Sure, you had to use motion controls, but it was a freaking fun fight. And like you were pretty much... It was a Dark Link scenario where you're fighting yourself. And I loved that scenario. It was very fun to do. Anyways, back to the thought process of Omniverse, which, second favorite game, you know these guys are going to be ranked high. Guy. Wow, I really just chose Guy first when I said it was going to be ranked high. Top of C. He had fun attacks. Not all that versatile, but he was still fun to use, and I really enjoyed using him. Next up, Diamond Head. Actually, Diamond Head was very fun. I'm putting him in A. For what I remember, he was very fun to use and incredibly versatile. His attacks really helped a lot with anything and everything, especially with flying enemies. So, A tier for him. Wild Nuts. I'm going to put Wild Mud just below Chroma Stone and above the Ultimates. Because this game had slight puzzles. I won't say it had puzzles like Ultimate Alien, but it did have slight ones where he was the main one for the puzzles. So like that's why he's higher. But when it came to combat, wasn't very versatile. He was a heavy hitter, but not very versatile. Same kind of level as everyone else in this tier, where it was like, sure, you can use him, don't really want to. Next up, Shock Swatch. I'm putting him in A tier below Water Hazard. Because although the other guys in this tier are fun and all, Shock Swatch was incredibly fun to use. I loved his abilities. He was the electric user of the present, I think? I forget. Yeah, he was very fun to use, and I wish I could play another game with him. Just like doing story and all that. Next up, Feedback. Feedback's kind of on the same level as him. I'll put him above Accelerate, but below Terror Spin. Because he at least could absorb the enemies, which incredibly awesome to use. Actually, I think that itself puts him in God tier. I'm sorry. But like, when you can absorb enemies and make yourself stronger for an attack, I love that. That is incredibly awesome. So, yeah, that's why he's up there. Next up, Blocks. We're down to the last 6. Damn. Blocks, I'm gonna put in A tier. I'm gonna put him above Terror Spin. Sorry, but he goes above Terror Spin. The alien design overall is just very fun, and they made it so that what he is a part of the game, and you have to use it. Whereas if you want to use a strong thing, you can just use Blocks instead for a moment to trigger it. And it really shows that it put care into developing Blocks into a character that it's him. Even in Omniverse 2, when he can make a double as himself as the protect thing, I'm pretty sure. It was one of the 2 games that did that. But yeah, that's why he's top of A. Next up, Artiguana. I want to put an A tier because Artiguana was my favorite alien to use. As well as like, he could freeze lava and like anything. He was incredibly versatile in game and in battle. Puzzle-wise and battle-wise. So, he's top of there. Gravitak. Gravitak also God tier. I'm sorry. But he was a heavy hitter. He may have been slow at hitting, but he dealt damage. He was a crowd controller 100% of the time. And yeah, kind of same reason as Big Chill's up here. I kind of want to put him. I think he's above. Oh, Ferg. I think he's above these two. I don't know if he's above Energy for my favorites, but yeah. Next up, we have to say this is the last game that this is for. I'm putting Crash Hopper below Blocks, but above everyone else, just because of his protectability being launching into the sky and no one can attack him. So if you just need a breather and readdress the situation, he was the best one to use for that. Next up, Bullfrag. I'm gonna put him probably here, because the one thing I love about Bullfrag is his tongue attack, where it just stuns all the enemies in a big radius. You get another breather there, and it's just nice to have that. Plus, the implications of his character in the game, where it's just, oh yeah, they trust this dude just because he's a frog. So, amazing lore implications. And now, the last one, Astrodactyl. I'm probably going to put him top of C tier, because he was freaking fast. I won't deny that. But he wasn't very versatile. Like, he's fast, he's got the whip. He wasn't very good in combat, I'll be honest. He's probably the worst one out of all of them for combat in this game. And he was just kind of there. Sure, he was fun to use sometimes when there's one enemy or something like that, but other than that, he wasn't very useful, I'll be honest. This is my tier list for the games. If you agree, leave a like. If you don't, I completely understand, because like some of these dudes you probably had more fun with than I did, and it's kind of unfair that I do it right after the last game, ranking them, but you kind of have to with the way they're used. Other than that, though, that is the after show. For the leak in the next series, we're going back to Skylanders. We're doing Superchargers, guys. I think. Yeah, we're doing Superchargers. And then we're doing an Imagineers at a later date. But yeah, we're going on back to Skylanders, where Hamadai may make a return. So, watch out for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!